Hello and welcome to my Gray Zone Warfare tutorial. Before we dive in, I want to highlight that the game is still in early access pre-alpha. That means everything you see is a work in progress and will continue to evolve as development moves toward full release. Expect ongoing tweaks, improvements, and new features along the way. This tutorial is designed for anyone looking to understand the core mechanics and basic functions of the game. I'll keep things short, clear, and straight to the point, so you can jump into the fight ASAP. The first and most important step before you jump in is adjusting your graphics settings. GZW can be very demanding, and performance is continually being optimized, so dialing in the right settings makes a big difference. The easiest approach is to start with Auto Set option and let the game choose the best baseline for your system. You'll have access to Labra at the very beginning, and she sells a variety of medical items at different tiers or levels. So first off, when you get wounded, the first thing to do is apply a tourniquet to stop the bleeding. This is a very important first step. You want to avoid having your blood drop down to 50% or you will fall into a coma. Here are some of the common tourniquets that are available in-game. For organs, like my lungs here that are yellowed out, you need to use suture kits. It's also important to note that you can also drag the suture kit onto the affected area or use your hotkeys like H. For wounds of any kind, apply bandages. Different bandages plug a number of wounds corresponding to the number of uses. Like the S-band I just used closes up to 4 wounds inflicted and also corresponds to its number of uses. Blood bugs restore blood and stops dizziness. You can only get blood bags from Labrat, which he sells either in large or small bags. Painkillers are totally optional. Ibulin is the most common found in the field. Be careful when you do use them because they thin blood, and if you get shot, you will bleed out faster than normal. The good ones to have are the meloxicam and paracetamol, which you'll get by leveling up Labrat. For broken bones, use splints. It's nice to have more than one on hand, just in case. The terrain of Laman can be very treacherous, so be careful out there. Stims are incredibly useful when you are in a pickle or pinned down and you need to heal real quick. So the HPR3S helps with regenerating your organs, the EPO with blood, the RE12 with bones, and the Stretch 9 is technically a boost that helps you run for a long period of time at the expense of your arm stamina. Now using too much of this will increase your intoxication, will make you puke in the middle of a firefight, which could get you killed unfortunately. So be careful when and where you use it. To counteract the intoxication, you can use activated charcoal or moxiflox. In case you get radiation, there is Ki or potassium iodide, which helps stop it, and there is methylphenidate, which helps boost arm stamina. So when reviving teammates, you can only revive them from a coma state, so definitely drag them into a safer spot or into cover, and then you always have to follow the first 4 steps, which is you have to tourniquet them to stop the bleeding. The second step would be a suture kit, but since we shot Yeti over here in the legs, he doesn't have any organ damage. The third step would be blood, and that should revive him. Now if your buddy is still in a coma at this point, an additional suture kit or blood bag is needed. Another important thing to note is when you're using QR kits or of any kind, be sure to have enough meds in there, and they're in your quick slots. They are marked with a lightning icon, so either your belt, your plate carrier, your rig, or your pockets. Let's talk about armor. So there are 2 types that we can use. There are plate carriers and vests. And the ratings go through from 3A being the lowest, then up to 3A+, 3, 3+, and 3++ at the highest. Both vests and carriers come in different materials like UHM, WPE, ceramic, and steel. All of them offer the protection stated by their NIJ rating. The difference is durability and weight. Steel lasts the longest and can even deflect shots, but it's also the heaviest, which also hurts your stamina and reduces how much you can carry before becoming encumbered. Vests function the same way as carriers for protection, but require rigs to hold items like magazines, loose ammo, or whatnot. Plate carriers, on the other hand, have built-in slots and don't need a rig. When it comes to protection coverage, armor only protects slightly above the gut. Some carriers look like they offer more coverage, but all those are just extra pouches. A good example is the Phantom carrier right here. Its protection only matches the actual plate slots despite its design. Do check the icons on the top left when inspecting armor. They show what areas are protected, like front, back, and the side. So the Phantom carrier right here covers all three, but many other carriers only protect the front or back, or both front and back. So always pay attention to these icons so you know how to position yourself in a fight. So let's move on now to ammo. So quick note, there are no health points in GCW. Any round can kill depending on shot placement and ammo type. We're going to use 5.56 as an example, since it's one of the most common calibers players use. So soft points and hollow points deal heavy internal damage and are excellent for shots to the gut or armpit, but they perform poorly against armor, so aim for the fleshy bits. Now, if you want something more straightforward, simpler, or more versatile, then AP rounds like M855 can penetrate armor, depending on range and what barrel length you use. If you want a more full and detailed breakdown of every caliber, check out Good Boy's ammo chart, the link is down in the description. Here's a quick guide on using helicopters to travel around the map. You need to have an LZ or landing zone unlocked before you can fly to it. You can unlock LZs either by reaching them on foot or by catching a ride with other players from base. For example, I have tasks in Blue Lagoon and already have LZs unlocked over there. To get there, I select Kilo 2, hit call transport, and my heli request appears in the green on the helicopter tab with a countdown until landing. Each helicopter has 4 seats, so watch the on-screen prompt to grab one. Wearing headphones is useful and very helpful. You can press the letter O to mute loud rotor noise. You can also press L to have the helicopter depart immediately. If you're running with a full squad, remember, the person who calls in the helicopter should board last to avoid leaving anyone behind. For more details about the world and point of interest, check out GCW Tac Map, the most up-to-date resource for tasks, landing zones, key locations, and much more. Link is down in the description. Next up are the vendors. Each vendor offers their own set of tasks and carries a unique inventory. To unlock the rest of their stock, you'll need to level them up by earning reputation points. You can gain rep by completing tasks or by selling them loot and high value items, though tasks are by far the fastest way to max them out. You will start with Handshake, Gunny, and Lab Rat, and later on you will unlock Artisan, Turncoat, and Banshee as you progress. Vulture is the only vendor without tasks. The only way to level him up is by selling high value loot. He sells weapons and gear recovered from players who go down in the field. He rotates between 2 major cops and switches locations every week. You can check his current spot every Monday at whereisvulture.com. Now if you want a deeper breakdown of each vendor, their backgrounds, full inventories, and level-based stock, be sure to visit the GCW Wiki. It's a community-run hub for everything GCW. When it comes to building your own guns, the easiest way to understand the system is to start with the core components, such as the upper and lower receiver of the weapon you want. While in the vendor menu, click on the part to highlight it. Using the DDM4 as an example, when you select the receiver, the game highlights every part that is compatible with the weapon. If you detach the handguard and click on it, you see all the parts that are compatible with that component as well. Highlighting items in the vendor inventory will also show you which parts they can fit into. This makes it easy to mix, match, and build the weapon exactly the way you want. GCW often gets compared to games like Escape from Tarkov, but it's really a different experience. This game heavily punishes players who run in with a run-and-gun mindset, which usually leads to frustration. Instead, GCW leans into an open-world, tactical sandbox gameplay with some milsim elements. As mentioned earlier, the game has no hit points. Kills come from well-placed shots to the head or vital organs. Using cover is essential, and I can't stress that enough to new players. Staying aware of your surroundings, communicating clearly, and knowing when to push or fall back will dramatically improve your chances of survival. Blue armbands only appear in PvP and are visible only to members of your faction. Anyone without one can be considered hostile. In PvE, armbands don't exist, and while you can't see other faction players on your map, they're all friendly and can't harm each other. Combat outposts, or cops, are safe areas where players can access their locker, vendors, turn in task items, and end deployment safely. In PvE, these are shared between 3 factions, as where in PvP they can be taken over to deny use. Mortars, as I will demonstrate here on this cop, is accessible by the Mortar tab on the map. and you can call in a strike as long as you have mortar rounds in your locker. To take over a cop, you have to make sure that either all the AI are dead or there are no more threats. Then access the laptop, take it over. Unfortunately, you can get stuck in game. If that happens, you can use Control plus F11 to respawn at the nearest cop or base. So here in the bathroom at base, I'll show you how it works. So pressing Control plus F11 will bring up a prompt that lets you respawn. So when you're doing this, you'll need to return to the exact same spot where you died to retrieve all your gear. However, you can only loot your most recent body. So if you die again while trying to recover your items, your previous body becomes inaccessible. I'll demonstrate here on this body. So I'll leave everything here, redeploy. As you can see, I now cannot access my first corpse, only the latest one. You get only one chance to recover all your gear. In PvP, however, teammates can help you by looting your body and dropping the gear for you. This only works in PvP and not in PvE. In PvP, shooting friendlies will mark you as an aggressor. This status doesn't reset when you die, and as a penalty, you won't be able to loot your own body, even if it's the first one. Other friendly players can kill you without any punishment while you are marked. So stay alert, be mindful of your surroundings, and always check your map for nearby friendlies. Inspecting bodies is extremely useful. It shows exactly where your shots landed, and on your own body it lets you see where you were hit or what killed you. It is also easy to forget that neither you nor your enemies die in the T-pose. That's just the default model used during inspection. The actual world player models are almost always in race stance with their arms forward. To log off safely, always return to a base or a cop. The game will let you know with a prompt whether it's safe to end your deployment. If you log outside the safe zone, you will lose all your gear, so make sure you are in a secure area before exiting. Join the GZW Discord to be part of an amazing community where players actively help each other out. It's the best place to stay updated on developmental news, patch notes, and community events. It is also a great resource for tech support and troubleshooting, thanks to the community's tech-savvy members. The community game masters in the server regularly host events that give players access to custom servers, which are completely separate from your main progression. They'll always post a password for these events, so keep an eye out. To join, go to Settings on the main menu, open the Custom Server tab, enter the password, and you're in. For more in-depth explanations on systems like the Health or Ballistics, be sure to check out MFG's YouTube channel. I'd like to give a big shout out to Yeti, Spec Ops, Jetty RB, DG, and Farmer for helping with this video.